bit hard, sir.
What do you get?
33.
What do you get?
33.
33. You started out
Mm.
very well, but then you start finding it more difficult. Okay, they show you are not prepared. Okay, let's go over. Let's go over. Okay, essentially you need to know all this for this topic. What is happening? Okay, all this you need to know. Summarize for you. All these formulas you need to know how to use. Right? This is just a warming up question. Make sure you know all the units. So yeah, all right. You know how to identify the unit correctly. So yeah, okay. This one you are a bit lost. Right? Basically, I think about your SPM work. The coil of a wire on an electromagnet are usually worn on ferrous core. Which of the following statement is incorrect of magnetic material? Ferrous material, for example, iron, does not retain its magnetism when no current flow. Yeah, that's true. Ferrous material concentrate the magnetic flux, thus increasing the magnetic field strength greatly. True. Steel used in electromagnet becomes a permanent magnet. True. Copper and aluminum are other example of ferrous material. No. Right? It doesn't get magnetized. Copper and aluminum doesn't get magnetized, so it's non-ferrous material. Right? This one, yeah, good. You can recognize, even though it is correctly drawn, correct direction, but it should.
Actually, it's 1 and 3, teacher. But they said something else.
Yeah, 1 and 3 is wrong. The incorrect one, it should be not evenly spaced. This one, the polarity is wrong. Okay, only 2 is correct. So yeah, right, this one. This one, yeah, okay. You know how to play with the formula. Basically, look at the formula, that's all, this one. And then this is a cosine graph, a sine graph, right? Sine graph to maximum at 90 degrees. This one, yeah, okay. A uniform magnetic field is directed at right angle to the, right? There's your field on this part. On the surface PQRS, on this surface there, of a slice of conducting material as shown, electron moving towards SR, that side there, that's electron, enter the slice of conducting material. The electron enter the slice at right angle. Which part of the material has the high potential and which is the thickness of the conductor? Okay, this one, yeah, all right. Right, electron goes in, use your Fleming's Stefan rule. Right, where your field is going down, current is going to the right. So your force is going in. So it push the electron into the side QR. Okay, so you're right. QR, then thickness you know how to identify as ST, parallel to the field. Good. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Can or not?
Explain one time again, sir.
Basically, the electron is going in, so the current is going to the right. Right? Field is going down. Right? Field is going down. Your current is going in. Current is going to the right. Right? Current is going to the right, so the force is going in. The thumb is pointing to the inwards there, so it's into the page there. So it means that the force is acting on electron. So QR will be negatively charged. And the thickness is always this part. This is the thickness parallel to the field. That is the width. You identify SR is the width. Okay.
Okay.
This one you are also okay. Horseshoe magnet. There's a horseshoe magnet. Is placed on a balance. A stiff metal wire is clamped horizontally between the poles as illustrated. The magnetic flux density in the space between the pole of the magnet is uniform and is zero outside the region. Length of the metal wire normal to the field is 6.4 cm. When the current in the wire is switched on, the reading on the balance increases by 2.4 gram. So increases means the force is pushing down. The current in the wire is 5.6 ampere. Calculate the magnitude of the magnetic flux density between the pole of the magnet. Right, so answer is B. How do we calculate it out? Right, top band balance reading increases, meaning the force of the horseshoe magnet is downwards. Right, the force on the horseshoe magnet is pushing it downwards, so increase in mass. So by Newton's third law, the force on the wire is upwards. Right? So the force on the wire is upwards, but remember the wire has its weight, so it's coming downwards there. So for equilibrium, the magnetic force must be equal to weight. Right? The force, magnetic force is upwards. Weight is downwards, mg. So these two are equal. Okay, and then you put them equal. Put the value inside. What is given? Right? That's your mass.
Hello?
That's your mass. That's your G.
Hello?
Yeah, what's the problem? What's the problem?
No, sir, suddenly the voice went off, sir.
Cannot hear. What is wrong?
Suddenly couldn't hear your voice.
Can't hear my voice. I can hear you very clearly. I don't know why.
No, suddenly it went silent for a while.
Oh, unless the internet is not stable.
Sir, go to
Morning?
number 8 back in the slide. Do you have the calculation, sir?
Okay, the weight, magnetic force equals to the weight.
So this is previous slide, sir.
Previous slide. Yeah.
You have the calculation, sir, the formula.
Yeah, I'm calculating for you now. I'm explaining to you now.
Oh.
Are you paying attention or not?
Yes, sir, I'm paying attention, but I didn't
Then why are
see
you
the other
asking
slide.
me?
That's why I thought.
I'm showing you this. I'm explaining to you. There. Right? Top band balance reading increases means that the force of the horseshoe magnet is downwards. That means the force is pushing on the horseshoe magnet. That's why it increase the mass. Then you must look at the wire, not the horseshoe magnet. So Newton's third law tells us that the force on the wire is upwards there, equal but opposite to the force on the horseshoe magnet. For equilibrium, magnetic force equals to weight. There's your magnetic force, there's your weight. That's all. Magnetic force is DIL, weight is mg. So that's your weight, mass, there's your G, right? 9.81. And there's your B, there's your current, there's your length, change it to meter, calculate your B. Right? You can do this one, I don't know why. Right? You're all right with this one. This one you tend to have a problem. I don't know what's the problem. Right? Memory work only, and then the other one using Fleming's left-hand rule. Your field is going to the right. Your current is going down. So the force is coming outwards there. Yeah. Field is going to the right. Fleming's left-hand rule. Force is going downwards. Sorry, the current is going downwards. So the force is coming out of the page. Make sure you know how to do that. That's your SPM work. Okay?
Okay.
This one also got problem. Right? It's a repeat at the end there, I think. an ion of mass m and charge q enters a region of uniform magnetic field acting perpendicular to the original line of flight. The resulting path, right, it must be circular straight away. Go to the theory. In magnetic field, circular path, magnetic force equals to centripetal force. Go and derive. No need to memorize the formula. That is not that difficult. Right? That's your centripetal force. This is your magnetic force. V and V cancel off. Take R across. Take your B and Q down. So that is your formula. Then you can choose what is the right one. Right? So circular path and your R is proportional to MQ. M divided by Q. Not QM. This one also got problem. You know why? Right? Supposed to be your SPM work. The figure shows a current carrying conductor of length 50 cm carry a current of 20 milliampere placed in between the two magnets with different pole of uniform field of magnitude 25 millitesla. Find the direction of the force produced on and its magnitude. Right? Remember to change the unit. Force is BIL. Just getting you to use the formula BIL, that's all. B as a B. Change it to SI unit. And then your current, change it to SI unit. Right? And then after that, apply Fleming's left-hand rule. Your field is going upwards. Field is going outwards. Your current, right? Your current is coming from the battery, going inwards there. Current is going inwards there. So the force is to R. Okay, field is going up. Current is going inwards. Right? Going inwards there. Must be able to read which is your outwards, which is your inwards, going inwards. So the force is in the direction of R. Okay, you're still very big in this one. Don't know why. Been going over with you so many times. Okay. A.
Yeah.
Right? You make sure you do your homework. You don't do your homework, you cannot afford this semester. This semester you must do well. Next semester you'll be struggling because you are going to repeat your paper. Your grade must improve this semester. You don't improve next semester, you'll be more harder for all your paper. A particle enters a region of uniform electric field. This is a region of electric and magnetic field here. The uniform electric field between the plate you are given, strength, and the direction is given, and is zero outside the plate. The magnetic field strength is adjusted so that the positively charged particle pass undeviated, goes through. So this is a velocity selector. The particle has a speed of that. Calculate the magnitude of the magnetic flux density. I've been asking you, do your homework. You don't do your homework, you don't. This one simple thing you don't know how to do. Right? Velocity selector essentially is just your magnetic force equals to electric force. That's all. Get the formula, don't need to memorize. So many formulas to memorize, you can never memorize all of them. So go to the basic one. Magnetic force formula, memorize. Electric force formula, memorize. So Q and Q cancel off. They want to calculate B. Right? B, take your B down, E over P, put in your value. Okay?
Okay.
This one also cannot do. An alpha particle traveling with a speed enters a region of uniform magnetic field. What is the radius of the path of the particle? Right? Calculation, you are very poor. Right? Because you have done not enough work. Cannot memorize formula. Right? That's just centripetal force equals to magnetic force, and then get this formula. R, put in your value. Right? Mass of alpha, get from your book. Right? Atomic mass unit or mass of proton times 4 of them. There are 4 nucleon there. times your, right, your velocity or the speed. That's your B. Change it to SI unit. And then charge for alpha got 2 charge there. 2 charge, 2 times charge of electron. The answer is B. Okay.
Okay.
This one also gone. Explain the use of uniform electric field and uniform magnetic field for selection of velocity of a charged particle. Which of the following could not possibly be an explanation? Uniform magnetic field going into the page. Okay, doesn't matter. If you go into the page, show you the diagram there. Negative charge particle enters the field normally, correct? It must enter at right angle. Electric force is upwards. Right? It show you it's an electron. So electric field is downwards. So it means that upwards must be positive. So electron must be deflected upwards there. So correct. Electric force is upwards and the magnetic force is downwards, and balance for no deflection, the two force balance. Correct. Electric field can also be parallel to cannot. It must be perpendicular to each other. Right? You have not studied properly. Donkey is the answer. Okay. Right? This part also you can see calculation when you are complete or you don't know how to do. Ions, all of the same isotope, are traveling in vacuum with a speed. Right? That's the speed coming in. Ions are incident normally on the uniform field of flux density. Right? You are interested in here. Coming in with a speed, there's the uniform field there. Ions follow the semicircular path A and B before reaching a detector shown. That's a detector. That's a detector. Diameter of B, you are given diameter of B is 12.4 cm. The ions in path B have a charge 1.6 times 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Determine the mass. Right? It's just simple, straightforward. Right? Just this is supposed to be a structured question that convert to objective, that's all. Right? Centripetal force equals to magnetic force. Don't memorize formula, just the basic one. Right? Centripetal force, magnetic force, cancel your V. So your mass is BQR over V. Then put in your value. Right? P is given. Charge is given. R is given. Right? Change the diameter to radius. Change to SI unit. Then velocity is given. Calculate out. That's all. Can?
Can.
Right? This is just application, that's all. You are very poor in this part. Refer to the previous question. Suggest and explain quantitatively a reason for the difference in radii of A and B of ions. Diameter of path A is 6.2, diameter of path B is 12.4 cm. Which of the following could not possibly be the reason for the explanation? Always go back to the formula that you derived. Radius of A is half radius of B. Right? Correct? Right? From here, divided by 2, divided by 2, it's still half. Q for A must be twice that of B. Okay, let's look at the reasoning. Right? They're just using this formula. Right? Q is inversely proportional to 1 over R. That means if the radius is smaller, the charge must be bigger. Right? Where your M, B, and V are constant. So radius of A is half that of B, correct? For Q, the Q for A must be twice that of B. Okay, you're interested in radius. the charge there, if it's twice, then the radius is smaller, correct? Ions in path A have twice the mass, the charge of ions in path B. That's why we just argue it out. And how about the mass? Mass is different. Mass is proportional. R is proportional to the mass. Mass of A cannot be double that of B. B has double the mass, not A. Okay? Any comment?
No.
Right? This part also you have a problem. When it comes to calculation, because you have not done enough work. You should be doing your past paper by now, not just revising. A current I of 3.8, that's a current. It's normal to the surface. The surface shaded for you. In aluminum, the number of free electrons per unit volume is given you. A uniform field of magnetic flux density equals to is given you. That's the direction. Normal to that surface at the top surface. Direction is in direction coming down. The Hall voltage is developed across the slice. State the magnitude. This is getting you to memorize the formula. That's all. If you don't know, right? Magnitude of the thickness. T. Thickness here. This is the thickness. Previously, you know how to identify, but now I don't know. This is the thickness. Thickness is always parallel to the field where the current enter. The other part is the breadth. The part also wrong. Calculate the Hall voltage. Right? This is just to show you how to calculate. Right? There's your thickness. Right? We are just using this formula. Right? Your B is given. That's your B. I is also given. Refer to the question. N is also given. That's your N given. And then your T, thickness, right? Is also given. Change it to SI unit. Your Q is the charge of the electron. Then calculate out. Okay?
Okay.
This one, yeah, okay. Can memorize the formula. Two long straight vertical wires X, that's your X, that's your Y, are separated by 4.5 cm. The current in X is 6.3, given you, going up. Initially, there is no current in Y. Calculate the magnetic flux density at wire Y due to current in X and state the direction. Right? Using your right hand curve rule, the thumb represents the current, the curved finger represents the direction of the field. So in this part, as it goes down, the circle goes inside. So that means that the field is going inside, right, into the page. And using this formula to calculate. Right? There's your mu naught. Current 6.3, 2 pi. Then your R is that distance. Change it to meter. Okay. A. Two long straight conductors X and Y are placed parallel to each other. This part you have a problem. I don't know why. Didn't memorize formula. Distance 2 cm as shown in the diagram. Current in X and Y are 2 and 4 ampere respectively. What are the magnitude and direction of the force per unit length? Go to the formula. Memorize the formula. Usually they ask you to derive first. Put in your value. Mu naught. Right? Current is 2 and 4. 2 and 4. 2 pi. Right? Distance 2 cm. Change it to meter. Calculate out. Right? Remember the force is repulsive. How to remember? If it's light charges, it repel. So light current attract, and light current repel. That's why it's going up. Okay. C. Okay. This one, yeah, all right. Conductor of length L carries a current I in a magnetic field B. Which of the following statement is about the magnetic force on a conductor is false? Magnetic force is maximum when the conductor is perpendicular to the field, correct? This one you know your SPM work. Magnetic force is proportional to length, correct? Right? Just a formula. Magnetic force is 0 when the current is alternating, no? It still has a value because the current is still changing as long as it's not parallel. Magnetic force is dependent on the direction of current to the magnetic field. True? So the answer is C, the incorrect or the false one. Right? This one, yeah, all right. Can memorize the formula. Right? Length of solenoid, number of turns, carry a current there. So that is your current. Right? Memorize the formula, know how to use it. Mu naught, get from your data sheet. N is 500 divided by length. Right? Change it to meter. I to ampere. Then use your right hand grip rule. Okay, current is coming down. So right hand. There. So Q is north, V is south. Okay.
So the answer is C.
Answer is C. Right? This one I don't know why you still don't know yet. Thomson's experiment. A beam of
A
electrons
is correct, but they want incorrect.
is allowed to pass through region. Right? That's your region P. Circle there. Consists of electric field E and magnetic field B, so that the electron hit the region at O as shown in the diagram below. Which of the following is incorrect? Cathode is correct. Cathode emits the electron. Anode accelerate it. Function of P is to choose a particular velocity. It doesn't matter all the electron come at different velocity at different direction. You just choose one that's horizontal with that particular velocity. It doesn't focus. Not like cathode ray, not like CRO. So the wrong answer is it doesn't focus. Focus is a field. The field is the one that direct it to one point, horizontal. Hall effect cannot be used to measure or identify. Right? Go to the formula. Right? BI, NET. Anything in the formula can measure. Can measure B, can measure voltage, can measure I, can measure E, you know. Thickness you can measure of the whole probe. So N can be measured. Right? There's nothing about mass here. So how to measure mass? Cannot. Okay. This is taken from your book, your revision book. So you have not been doing your homework. Right? This is also taken from your past year paper. Right? The answer is wrong. Right? You are still very weak in this one. Two parallel wires P and Q carrying equal current of 5 ampere in the opposite direction are shown in the diagram. What is the magnetic flux density at R? Okay, essentially to memorize this formula. Right, due to P, remember P is going in, so use your right hand. Right hand curl rule, that one. So it's going in. So it means that it is circular. Right? It's a circle there, but clockwise. So at this point there, that one is a tangent, is going downwards there. So you can choose downwards as positive. Whereas Q is coming out. Okay, we have to finish in 10 minutes time. After that, we will spend another 15 minutes with your past year paper. Right? Q is coming out. Okay, so it's going anti-clockwise. Right? Going this way. So at R is going at a tangent upwards. Okay. So take a common factor out. Mu naught is the same. Right? Only R is different. I is the same. I you are told the same. Take common factor out, mu naught I. That's your mu naught, that's your I. 2 pi is the same. So R is different. R for Q is right? This one, change the meter. R for P is 8 plus 4 is 12. Change the meter. So that's your answer. You got positive, means it's going downwards there. Okay. Yeah, still very weak, this one. Any comment?
Not sure.
Right? So you are very weak in this one because you didn't memorize the formula or know how to derive it. Particle of mass m and charge q move in a circle of radius r and speed v in an uniform magnetic field. Radius, right? As I said, don't memorize formula. Just memorize magnetic force equals centripetal force and derive the formula. mv, right? 1v cancel off, so you still got mv. Take r across, dq down, and put in. You can choose your right answer. Right? Proportional to m and v, momentum. C. Okay. Any comment? Anything not clear? Yep. Any comment?
All okay, sir.
Okay, we'll stop here. We'll give you 10 minutes. After that, we'll start a new Zoom. 10 to 15 minutes for you to ask question.
Wait, why new Zoom, teacher?
Say again.
Wait, how come new Zoom, teacher?
Say again. Say a bit louder.
No, why new Zoom, teacher?
We have finished our time already. I'm just giving you
Yeah.
extra.
Don't want, I don't want to waste the time. I don't want to waste the time.
You don't want. You want the extra time.
I don't want to waste your time, Lacha. I don't want.
You want, we can go because we don't have time for tomorrow.
No, it's
That's why
okay,
I'm
Lacha.
starting today for 50 minutes. If you want, we will go 50 minutes.
No, don't want,
Okay.
don't want.
You don't want? Okay.
Don't want.
You don't want, we will stop here then.
I mean, I'm so unprepared. So what's the point, sir?
Okay, then you better prepare. Normally, you should prepare before you come because we want to spend a bit more time.
Yes,
Don't
okay.
have
Sorry,
time.
sir.
Okay, you stop here then.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you.